Ciao YouTubers, Flip Moto here on a cold brisk day in Austin, and I'm at my favorite, you know what this is, first ride review. This is where I'm always doing it. It's just easy to pull up here right next to my house. Here's what we're riding today, this Italian beauty. It is a 2005 Ducati Monster S4R. Let me pull out my cheat sheet and give you a few specs on this thing. This is borrowed from the second owner. I know the first owner as well. Interesting fact, the first owner and second owner of this specific bike are neighbors, which is pretty awesome. And the original owner, he is Italian. He bought this original brand new. He tracked it. And the gentleman is a fine Italian gentleman that does business here in the United States and in Italy. And yeah, he just decided, you know, I'm a little too old to be riding it. I've got my Porsche, and he sold it to his neighbor. He was going to sell it to me. The timing didn't work out great. I got it at different Italian mistress. And yeah, let's go over some of the deets. Let me pull out some of this, my cheat sheet here. Try to keep it off camera a little bit. So the S4, so I don't know if everybody knows their Monster history. I'm probably going to get some of it wrong. Everybody gets it wrong. Ducati and the Monster and the naming, and this goes for their superbikes as well. Their naming is terrible. Absolutely awful. And there's almost no way to decide if something's a Gen 1, a Gen 2, a Gen 3, because they just mix and match. And this is particularly hard because the Monster was always known as a parts bin special. So it's a little bit of everything mashed together. Something that's specific to the S4R is it is the original trellis frame that they started in 1993 with the original M900. And just to keep, like, for sake of clarity, we're only going to talk about the top of the line Monsters. We're not going to talk about all the smaller sizes and things like that because it gets even more confusing. Holy shit. This particular paint scheme is just a normal paint scheme. I believe it originally came with a white stripe, and the original owner might have gotten rid of the white stripe. It does have a lot of the carbon fiber upgrades that came with the S4RS, but again, not the upgraded engine. It's got the dry clutch. How many cc's is this thing? 961-ish? Okay, someone could probably correct me on that one. Does not have the Ohlins fork. It is liquid cooled. It's got a beautiful, beautiful patina on it. Well taken care of, but not overdone. It's got the magnesium parts on it. Just a fantastic specimen. It has been well taken care of by the second owner as well. He's cleaned it up a little bit. I do think he just put some new oil on, so we got some grease onto the chain, so we got some splatter and stuff going on in there. But cover upgraded. Yeah, it's been dumped once, I believe. It's got a nice dent. What would be a Monster without a dent? It's got the integrated tail light, which is something fairly new. The tail lights and this vibration with the double stacked cans didn't work out so well. It's got the single swing arm, which is awesome. Great look. Really, really good looking bike. So yeah, let's start her up. And yeah, we'll get some good sounds out of this thing, right? It's got that click-a-clatter, typical dry clutch sound. So let's go. Let's get a first ride impression. I've only got about 15 minutes on this thing. All right, we're in neutral. And flip the red switch. Not the easiest thing to start. It is warm right now. It operates best above 165, 170. It is one of those bikes with a choke. You got to warm it up. You know, people say, oh, what, you got to run your bike and rev it. Well, this is one of those that you actually have to. You gotta give it a good 2 minutes before you hop out and go. There's that clickety-clack dry clutch with the exposed cover. Let's give it a sound check. Oh, sounds juicy. I love this. You can see the throttle open up. Oh, love this thing. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful bike. Love the way it sounds. I've been riding with this bike for years and never actually got on it. And the second owner finally said, hey, yeah, why don't you take it for a day? And I said, thank you. Thank you. All right. I'm going to try to keep this one quick. This is my typical stop sign throttle run. Get used to the clutch, get used to the shifting, get used to the balance of the bike, and then we'll take it out on a twisty road. See how that goes? Oh, I'm gonna start right off the bat with the throttle because that's something that we're all as motorcyclists. That's your direct connection, right, to the bike is the throttle. And this bad boy's snatchy. Like in the greatest way possible. It's so snatchy. So analog. The whole bike has just got a visceral feel to it. It vibrates, it twists, it bucks. Wow, just a lot of people who don't know where they're going. Oh, here. Look at this little loose gravel. Woo! Swayze. No traction control. No rev matching. No quick shifter. No nothing. I don't even know if this has ABS or not. I'm assuming it doesn't. Pops and gurgles. All the good sounds. Oh, do I want a monster. Okay, to change up the formula a little bit, I'm gonna talk about the bike a little bit more while we roll through this neighborhood before I get to the twisties. And then I might just not talk during the curves. You know, just let the bike speak for itself. I think that'd be better. So, we already talked about the throttle and its snatchy goodness. What are some other... The engine, obviously. It's a V-twin, also called L-twin, controversially by Ducati, because there's really no such thing as an L-twin. It's a V-twin. It's a V. It's always a V. If it's a 90 degrees, it's a 90-degree V-twin. Just call it that, Ducati. L-twin is pretentious. There, I said it. But what's beautiful about the V-twin Ducati is the power is just delivered so smooth. And it's really a nice power band. It's not peaky. It's got a lot of low-down grunt. You can roll around in this thing. It has a ton of torque in quite a few gears, but it does shudder, and not quite like a single would if you're in the wrong gear. And it still has some balls, but it's not, I guess something that would have more torque at the lower end without vibrating much would be the, like the BMW flatheads. Parallel twins, it's surprisingly in the Aprilia, actually has not quite the amount of grunt this bike has, but you can ride it in almost any gear. It's really actually quite smooth and peaky at the top, which is, okay, we're not here to talk about the Aprilia, but I gotta say the engine is just as characteristic as a Ducati V-twin. I think it's the sound that really is the biggest lure to this Ducati V-twin with the dual cans. It's just a beautiful sound. It's so cold out, I gotta ride with my shield on and my eyes are watering. What a crazy spring day. It's like 50s. Which, this bike is very analog. It slides, it shimmies, it wiggles. It's just a blast. If you've never ridden a Monster, you've got to get on one of these older ones. This one is such a great specimen because Ducati really got the Monster by this time. You know, we're 12, 15 years into the model. The frame didn't change much, but everything else got up